It's always nice to breathe some fresh air, but the cities are getting polluted, and it's the automobiles and the automobile manufacturers who are being blamed the most for it. But the real culprit here is fossil fuel. And to their credit, the automobile manufacturers have been really working hard to find an alternative to fossil fuel. And hopefully their collective efforts will pay off soon. And one such effort is this, the hybrid version of cars. Hybrid cars have clearly emerged as a frontrunner in an effort to find an alternative to fossil fuel. And manufacturers have been offering full-fledged production hybrid variants for many years now. And this Toyota Camry here is an example of that. Toyota launched the Camry here recently and deliveries started in January. And there haven't been too many hybrids in India, so this is certainly worth a close look.
The concept of a basic hybrid car is simple. It uses a combination of conventional fossil fuel along with an electric motor powered by a set of lithium batteries, which are installed on board. The conventional fossil fuel engine continues to supply the primary power, while the electric motor takes over either at cruising speeds or even at starting and idling. At times when extra power is required and the throttle is pressed hard, it is the main engine which supplies the power. The result is better fuel mileage and low emission rates, as the engine when running on batteries is hardly polluting. The batteries get charged by the engine when it is running on regular fuel, or due to a process called regenerative braking. That is, when the brakes are used, the frictional energy generated is used to charge the batteries. But the downside of owning a hybrid car is that it's expensive, as hybrid technology is relatively new, and the cost of developing it has been huge. Secondly, the battery needs to be replaced at some point or the other, and that can be an additional cost. Also, the weight of the batteries is another concern. But with battery technology improving fast, these challenges have been overcome to an extent. Battery life and running cycles have improved to the extent that it has become a viable form of powering a motor car. And the cost too has come down.
As you hit the start button, the first thing that strikes you is the absence of the familiar sound of a conventional engine turning over. It's absolutely quiet in here and there are hardly any vibrations. And as I engage the gear here, I can hear the first signs of the petrol engine out there waking up. The absence of any sound is quite unnerving for many a driver and also for pedestrians who can't hear the car coming. And this became a safety issue, so much so that many manufacturers are now installing a sound system to warn pedestrians of a car coming. Strange, isn't it? First we fight noise pollution and then we can't live without it, so we have to bring it back.
Hybrid cars have not been total strangers to the Indian market. Two Japanese car makers, including Toyota, in the past had made half-hearted attempts to introduce hybrids in India. But then it was done more as a brand-building exercise than to really park the cars with the customers. Honda had launched the Civic Hybrid at a price which made it completely unfeasible. And then came the Toyota with the Prius, again at a price point which ensured that most of them never left the showroom. But with the Camry Hybrid, Toyota has two advantages. Firstly, hybrid technology has improved, and both the driving range and the shelf life of the batteries have increased considerably. In fact, Toyota is claiming that the battery has long shelf life and will not need any replacement. Secondly, they have added new features to the car, and the price difference between a regular Camry and the hybrid is much more reasonable at approximately rupees 5 lakhs more. And both these would make this hybrid Camry much more attractive for buyers.
This is the engine mapping display here and it tells you from where the power is coming. When you start the car, the green lights tell you that the car is running on the battery. But as you engage gear and move and you require more power, the gasoline engine comes alive. And the display now tells me that I'm running more on gasoline power than on battery power. Actually, when you're driving this car and you forget that it's a hybrid, you'll be hard put to tell that there is anything different in this car, except for the fact that it's rather quiet in here. The driving dynamics are almost same as the regular Camry. There's enough power on the tap, and this Camry hybrid can hardly be called sluggish. The combined power output is 205 PS, and the engine is mated to a transmission which also has a boost mode, equivalent of what many fast German cars call the Sport Plus or the Sport mode. Put the Camry into the boost mode and it instantly becomes fast and furious. The instrumentation cluster is very neatly laid out and very large dial, so you can easily read it. And very aptly, it's in blue color. Just to remind you that you're driving a car which is environment friendly. But initially, you might be taken aback a bit by the lack of a tachometer. Instead of the tachometer, what you get in this car is a meter telling you the charge of the battery, and that's important. The good part in a hybrid is that even if you run out of battery charge, the gasoline engine will take you anywhere you want to go. But the reverse is not true. If you run out of gas, the battery charge is not enough to take you anywhere. So you have to ensure that there is enough gas in the tank, because technically you can still run out of gas.
The 2.5-litre petrol engine comes mated to an eCVT transmission and is extremely fuel efficient for a car this size. According to ARI figures, it gives out 19.1 kilometers per litre. And also in terms of emission, it is certainly one of the least polluting, with carbon dioxide emissions of only 122 grams per kilometre. The interiors have more features than the regular Camry. Add-ons include a 3-way air conditioning, rear seat control for the AC and the stereo, and rear seats which are reclining by 8 degrees to add to the passenger comfort. The driver gets features like hill start assist to keep the car from rolling back on a steep road.
This is where you might begin to notice the downside of owning a hybrid. Normally this would have been a large boot, but the boot has been chopped to make way for the batteries. Not only that, the batteries have added another 160 kgs to the weight of the car. In a car the size of Camry, it doesn't really matter because the engine has enough power to handle the extra weight and the boot still remains large enough. But in a smaller hatchback, this would be a major handicap. This Camry drives just as well as a regular one, and in terms of packaging, it offers a whole lot more. And this is sure to soothe your environmentally aware consciousness. This is a feel-good car, and if you drive this, you will never have the pangs of hurting the trees and the plants around you. And at rupees 5 lakhs more, this is not really a bad deal. More so as you will save on the fuel bill. This gives an average of 19.1 litres according to ARI, and that's not bad for a car this size. And this is sure to save you some money. If you want a big compact which is high on fun and thrills and is environmental friendly, then I say this is it.